Hello, I'd like to welcome you to our demo this morning on AllMax Operator 10 Wastewater program. We will be going through the general features of the program and how the program works and how it can benefit you at your facility. First of all, to let you know that our program is a database. This database allows you to go and track any information that you would currently have in Excel or a different program that you may have. We can take all that information and have it put into the program for you. Um, with that being said, the program, like I said, is a database, and we control everything by three things: the database, the facility, of which is inside of there, and also the location parameters. Location parameters are essentially a holder for data. We can do that by going into the setup and the LP setup section and going into location parameters. This gives you a list of currently of everything that we have here in our sample database. This grid is filterable, so you are able to go and put information in and filter for what you're looking at. So what would we be tracking in location parameters? Well, what we do here is we allow you to go in and create a location. We can give it whatever name you want to do, a description, and what facility it's associated with. By doing that, then you're able to go in and add to the location parameter. You can go in and find what parameters we have. We give you a general list to begin with, but you can always add. So if you are unable to search this list and you can't find what you're looking for, we give you the ability to go in and create a brand new one just by hitting the plus sign, and we can give it a name and description, etc. And that will go and add it to the list for future use. By going in here and doing this, then we can search what we're looking for. So we can go in and we can find our BOD, for example, and we can grab it. We can come back and we can look for our flow that we have, and we're able to find things along that lines. And again, anything that you would track in your treatment facility, you would be able to track here, chemicals, anything in here. But this would allow you to do that. Once you then save it, this gives you the ability to go in and add it to the list. Once it is added, there are things that you're able to do. For example, you can go and create formulas to calculate different processes. For example, in this case, we have a ammonia percent removal. We can go and create that formula just by adding different location parameters and create it. So we use that to create the formulas. Very similar to how you would do it in Excel, except for using a row column. This would give you the ability to grab location parameters instead of row columns, such as the influent ammonia, for example. Once you have formulas created, you can attach them to a location parameter, and it doesn't matter. We can do formulas based on number of things. So anything you're wanting to do, MCRTs, detention times, SVIs, FM ratios, things like that can all be added to the program. Another thing that you're able to do is you're able to add upper and lower limits. Now, these may or may not be a permit limit. They could be just an entry or a process control limit, but they can be used that way. What these allow you to do is go in and have the entry limits so that when your operators or your lab people or whoever is entering data, if they enter something outside of that range, it will notify them. Can help with errors. We can also use it for process control entry limits. For example, a treatment plant that I worked at, one of the things that we did, we had our mixed liquor suspended solids. Our plant ran best if it was less than 2,500 milligrams per liter. So roughly around 23 to 2,500 was our operating level. So we actually put lower and upper limits in there. So if it dropped below 2,300 or if it went above 2,500, we would get a warning on that. That gave us the ability then to go out and look for, maybe we'd have to adjust our wasting rate to adjust for that. But that's what those can be used for. So once you have location parameters set up, what you do is we do our what we call data views. The data views themselves, what they will do is looks like a spreadsheet, but this gives you a way of being able to look at data and enter data. This is where this would take place at. You can define them. Like I said, they look like a spreadsheet, and you can go through and do pretty much any type scenario layout, this type of layout for all your things. Now, the benefit with data views, unlike an Excel spreadsheet, I don't have to recreate these every month. I have one, and it's just a user interface that allows us to see what we're looking at, what location parameters we're looking at. Now, as you noticed, it always opens it to the most current month, but we can also jump to wherever we want. So I'm going to go in our sample database here. I'm going to go to February of 22, and this takes us right to that location, to that date. And it gives you the ability to go in and really go and jump around and do what you want on how you want to enter data and look at data from that standpoint. Now, we're looking here currently at a full month. We also have the ability up here, we can change this to look at any type of things. We want to do a single day, a 7-day period, 12-month, or even a calendar year. Without having to redesign everything, we can go and change that. So we can flip to a calendar year just by a click of a button, and you can see all the data for the year right in one spot. Now, one of the things that happens, and I'm very familiar with this, is you may end up getting a call from your engineer and they say, hey, we need to see the effluent flow data. We need to see ammonia, BOD, phosphorus for the last 5 years. Well, that's in Excel. That means you're going to have to go through Excel and find a whole bunch of different spreadsheets to compile all that information. Well, in Operator 10, one of the nice things is we can just go ahead and click our new button here to give us our list of our location parameters. Again, we're going to just go ahead and look for the effluent here. And like I said, they want to see the flow. They want to see the BOD, and I can just select these as I go. They want to see the ammonia. They want to see the phosphorus. Well, I know they're going to want to see the suspended solids as well, just because we've been having issues with that. So let's just go ahead and grab all those. So when I do that and I hit OK, again, it gives us for the current month. Well, I can come up here and I can do a custom date range. And this allows us to go in and change it for whatever time period. And since we said they wanted it for 5 years, I can go January of 2020 through December of 2025. I confirm it. And here is, if I had data, again, this is our sample database, so we don't have all this, but I would have data for all that information down through here, and it would summarize it at the bottom for the 5 years. Well, how do I get this to the engineer? Well, I can go up to Tools and we can export it as an Excel file. Well, this will allow us to go and save it somewhere as an Excel file. Then you just attach it to an email and you send it to them, and they're all set. Okay, but this gives us the ability to go and create something that is needed a one-time. Maybe it's a one-time thing. So at that point, when I go and close it, I don't have to save it and it disappears. Okay. Some other options from an entry standpoint, like I was told you before, those upper and lower limits. So for example, on this pH max, if I go in here and I go and fat finger it, instead of entering a 7.5, I enter a 75 and hit enter, it's going to give me a warning and tell me it's over the range. So by doing that, it's like, oh, well, I don't need that. I know it's not a 75. I just come back in here and I change it, and I'm back to where we need to be. But it gives you that warning, can help stop errors, for example. Another thing that you're able to do is you're also able to add quick notes to a piece of data. Let's say, for example, here on this oil and grease sample, I have a 3. Maybe there's something unique that we saw or something that you had to look at. Well, what we can do is we can right click and go to a quick note editor. This allows us to attach a note based on the facility location parameter, who your logged in is, so you'll know who's doing the note. And I can go in and I can add a note about whatever I need to do. Okay, so we can just add that in there. So when we save that, then it puts a little caret above, but then I can go in and just mouse over it and it'll show you the note. Now that note follows this piece of data anywhere it's located in any data view. So one of the nice things about this, and with data views, I can enter it once and it shows up. So if I have this oil and grease on 10 different data views, I enter it once for that date, it will show up on all the other ones. So I don't have to go and move it or copy and paste it or link it. It will show there. So this is one format of a data view. Like I said, this is a month's one. You're able to change headers, colors. You have all that capability inside the data view. This is one format. Another format that we have is what I call a weekly one. And I like to use this for data entry purposes because it makes it work well. This is for the current calendar week is what it does. But instead of having the stuff, the headers across the top, they're down the side, which makes data entry very easy. Another option that you have from data entry is also not from a data entry standpoint, but also from just looking at data is a monthly summary. This will look at a calendar year and it will go in and it will let you go and summarize it for each month. Data entry isn't done here. It takes the data that's been entered and it goes and modifies it and changes it so that you can see it. Okay, so again, just some options that you have from a data entry standpoint. So now once you have data entered into the program and you have things set up that way, you also have the ability we have a complete reporting section with several different types of reports. It's a matter of going in and setting up the reports themselves. They're stock reports. So if you are in a state that uses NetDMR, we give you the ability to go in and create a DMR report. And what this will do is when we run the report, this will allow us to fetch the data for it. We have the option that we can also export it as well. But when we go and we run the report, this will let us, and I'll show you a printed preview of it. This allows you to go and it'll calculate everything that you need. So it'll go in and it'll calculate your weekly averages, your month averages, your maxes, your mins, and things along that line. And this can be printed out. Okay, and you can print it out if you want, if you need a hard copy. Well, but you also, what you're able to do is you're also able to export it. When you export it, this will create a file that is suitable that can be uploaded to NetDMR. Okay, so if you have other states, depending on what state you're in, we may have different options. Like Ohio has a different option for their electronic reporting. So depending on your state, please contact us and let us know, and we will be able to let you know if there's a file format that is uploadable. Okay. Another report that we have in here is what we call a limit report. This is one that I used in my treatment plant when I worked in a treatment plant. And I always did this before I ran my state reports. This report here, what it does is it allows you to go in and create a report that has all your limits on it. Okay. And when we do that, what it does is it then goes based on the limit. It will tell you what the actual value is and what you're calculating. So you can kind of transfer your DMR settings right over to here. But the benefit that's really nice is if you do have a violation, if you do have something that's out of limit, it will actually flag it and tell you what day it is. So you know what day it is and what that value is. Maybe at that point, you may have to go back and look at the data. Did somebody enter something wrong? Or if it's correct, you at least know that something is coming up. So it's a neat report. You can set limits up, these reports up for anything that you're wanting. I've had clients do it for a process control style report just to keep things from that standpoint. Another option that you're available to do inside the program is also charting. We are able to go in and create charts for anything, any of the data that is in the program. This allows you to go and create a chart. The chart is very simple to set up. As you can see, I'm just going to create one real quick. And I'm just going to do one for our effluent flow. So I can come in here, I can select our effluent flow. I hit OK. And again, we'll just go to where we have our date of here. There is a chart. Very simple. very easy to do. At this point, then you can go into the properties and you can change anything you want to make it match what you're needing. Once you have the chart the way you want, you're able to save the chart, and it can be also accessed on the desktop with the other, like we have with those other reports and data views that you have in there. The other thing that you're able to do when you do have a chart ready, you can actually go and export it as a PDF file. So if you want to send it to a report or you want to add it to a report, you can export it as an image, copy and paste it into a report so that you have that capabilities. Okay. So again, the idea here is the program is very simple, very easy to use. We have options available to you. If you need help with setup, we do have setup options that are available that we can take a look at your data. You would work with one of our product specialists and they would go and design and set up the database so it would match your needs and what you're looking at, and we would work closely with you on that. Again, the idea here is to give you a place where you can take all your data that's coming from different places, your lab, your operations staff, your process control data. Maybe you have Excel sheets. We can put all that into one database to give you the ability to go in and make it a centralized place so that everybody can have it. Okay. So I hope you were able to get something out of this little short demo that we've done here today. If you would like a full blown demo and we can sit down with your staff, we can schedule it, get with your sales client representative. That sales representative will set up a demo with one of our product specialists where we will go through in depth the program and answer all your questions. If you do have questions, feel free to contact us at 800-670-1867 and ask for the sales department. Again, thank you for your time today and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.